Who has not played Doom and seen what that has done to zombies? It's not a good time. You don't want to put your hands on there. Bloody hell. Today's video is brought to you by possibly the most ironic sponsorship on YouTube. The bald man who sells you something so you don't lose your hair. And look, who else is better to sell it to you? Because frankly, if it was 10 years ago, before I'd lost my hair, more like 11 years ago, coming on now, and Keeps was around, I'd be all over Keeps. I'd be like, hello, yes please, over here, Keeps, please. How much do you charge? I think it's like $10 a month or something, as low as $10 a month. But they'd be like, $10. I'd be like, I will pay whatever you want. Just let me keep my hair, Keeps. But no, Keeps came along too late for me. Keeps is an online subscription service that helps men keep their hair. They're expert recommended hair loss treatments. They're clinically proven. They combat the symptoms of hair loss. They're delivered straight to your door in a discreet package, so no embarrassments. Although I don't know. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going bald. So what? I want to keep my hair. Yes, it's a little bit vain, but I want to have the glorious mane. That Keeps, by the way, if you use that, I want extra money because it's a little bit vain, but it lets me keep my glorious mane, is what we call marketing gold, Keeps. Yes! Plus 24/7 expert support. You get a year of unlimited on-demand access to a dedicated medical provider. Yes! And proven results, key talking points. Have I not hit these, Keeps? Yes, I have! We've done it all! Look, if you've got hair and you want to keep it. Keeps. I'm just accidentally discovering all of the stuff that you need to, like... If you've got hair and you want to Keeps it, go to keeps.com/blaze and you'll get 50% off your first order. That's keeps.com/blaze. And thank you so much to Keeps for sponsoring. This rambling sponsor spot is over, and let's get into the video that you're here to see. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Brain Blaze. As always, I'm your host Simon. I'm here, one of my writers, in this case Dave. Thank you, Dave. Writes me a script. Someone said to me on Twitter that I shouldn't do this with the microphone. I don't know why I do this. I feel it just makes me closer to you. Don't you feel so much closer? Like we're involved in some sort of ASMR get-together. It's weird. I don't know why I do it. I feel like I just need something to interact with. Keep my hands busy, because the devil makes work for idle hands.
I know exactly what you're looking for.
What? I read it. I've not read it before. That's the theme of the show. Let's go. What's this one? The death of common sense. Most ridiculous safety warnings. Get the feeling I'm going to like this. The very existence of the Darwin Awards and the many Florida Man stories scattered liberally throughout the internet, and indeed this channel, Dave, suggests that on the whole, common sense amongst members of the human race is on the decline. This alongside the popular American-led culture of attempting to sue others for one's own incompetence has put product manufacturers in a difficult position. When releasing a new product, they must not only focus on things like build quality or whether the product is fit for purpose, they must also put serious thought into just how certain individuals might choose to misuse the product, and then include the necessary warnings in order to protect themselves from future lawsuits. There was definitely, when I was a kid and everyone was like on Hotmail and you used to get those things like passed around. I guess it was like before we had social media. And I remember one of them was like a list of, things found on products. One of them was like for lights, and it said for indoor or outdoor use only, as opposed to... which I liked. I'm sure there were other more ridiculous ones, but that one always tickled me. This is why when staying in a hotel, you'll very likely see a sign attached to any provided hairdryer, which warns the user, do not use in the shower. No, that's not real, does it really? Surely not. That's got to be just an American thing, right? Because I feel like over in Europe, we're like, yeah, obviously. And we don't sue each other quite as, constantly. There was a friend of mine who he was riding his bike through town here in Prague. He's an American guy, and he got hit by someone. And there was like this big discussion about whether he should... It was completely their fault. Like, they were driving like an idiot. And he ended up in the hospital. And there was this discussion about whether he should sue the person or like the insurance company and all of this kind of stuff. They'd already, like, his medical care is obviously paid for because we're not savages. And all of this stuff. And he was like, the insurance paid for a new bike and stuff. But there was like this issue of whether he should sue them like personally and stuff. And eventually he was like, no, I might be American, but that's just too much. What are we doing? Just leave him alone. He just made a mistake.
We don't give a fuck!
In today's video, we'll take a look at just a few examples of the lengths that product manufacturers have gone to in order to protect themselves from the Stultifying. There's a big brain word that I don't know. Lack of common sense demonstrated by people all around the world. Why is the word demonstrated said like that? But when something is demonstratable, you have to say it demonstrable. What the fuck? And why can't we say demonstrated like demonstrated? Or demonstrated? No! This is great. This is the fascinating content that you're coming here for. Number 10. Oh, we got 10 entries, Dave. Holy shit, we're going to be here all day? Why is this a top 10s list? Jesus. Our first example demonstrates a curious mix of one company's determination to include safety information that should be self-evident to even the most determined pursuer. I was going to say peruser, but it's not. It's pursuer of a Darwin Award, coupled with the completed ability to consider cause and effect. During 2011, my family and I reopened a derelict pub in the small Hampshire town of Havant, a town whose only claim to fame, as any of the old men from its 2 remaining pubs will tell you, is that it produced the parchment on which the original Magna Carta was written. I've just learned so much. Dave's family have a pub? Hampshire is not that far away from where I grew up. That's great. I don't think I've ever been to this pub because there's a lot of pubs in the UK. But that's cool. And also cool about Magna Carta being made, like the parchment or whatever being made there. As this pub had remained derelict for at least a year and had also played host to several groups of squatters, the necessary cleanup operation was both long and arduous. Yeah, I bought a house that had been empty for 6 years and it used to be an office building. It's like, holy shit. Like, how's the basement? Oh, it's very, very damp. How are those windows? They need to be replaced. How's the roof? Oh, God. What have I bought? I watched that movie, The Money Pit. I feel like this is one of the few classic movies that I've seen. And I watched that and I like when I was a kid and I was like, wow, never do that. And I have done that. So what have I done? I just got a bill for fixing the windows and it was unbelievable. I'm like, what is going on? Oh, God. Jesus, it's actually terrifying. One afternoon, while I was cleaning the kitchen, I was called over by another member of staff who had found what they believed to be some braille on part of the heating element at the back of the oven. Being a braille reader myself, Dave is blind, I was able to confirm their suspicions and read out the short message, which simply said, "Do not touch." You imagine read that? It says, oh. What does it say, Dave? Don't touch it. What is it about? To this day, I often wonder just exactly what was going through the mind of the designer who insisted that this vital safety warning was included. That is very bizarre. Why was that even there? That's more creepy than bizarre. Number 9. You know how it is. You overslept, you're late for work, and even though you promised yourself you would get everything ready the night before, you actually spent the entire evening playing Raid Shadow Legends. Ah, the story of my life. Go home, wave at my children as I go past the hallway. Bye, hello, children. And then immediately to hours of raiding on Shadow Legends, which I played in a live stream, which is still available on this channel. And honestly, as much as I know that game is a meme and everything, and I hate fantasy and all that shit, so I was like, I'm going to hate this. I didn't have a bad time. I think part of it because I was making fun of it so much, but it was genuinely not. It was not a good game, but it wasn't as shit as I thought it would be.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
To make matters worse, after you've gotten dressed, you realise that you've forgotten to iron your shirt, so in order to save a few vital seconds, you decide to forego the tedious process of removing your shirt, ironing it, and putting it. Don't say it's going to be like, right. Don't iron shirts on body for use. Oh, God. No. Fortunately, many manufacturers have preempted your stupidity or more probably fallen victim to a spurious lawsuit due to somebody else's stupidity, and now helpfully included the warning, never iron clothes whilst they're being worn. It's like, do people not know how fucking hot an iron is?
What are you, fucking stupid?
I wonder how many nipple skin Dave, that makes me squirm. How many nipple skin grafts? Why is a nipple skin graft? I had a dream last night. I just realized, sometimes when you're like reading something and you realize you had a dream. I had a dream that I had one of my lungs replaced with a water lung. Like, I don't know why. It didn't have any use. It just felt slightly heavier and breathing was more difficult on one side. I was like, okay. I wonder how many nipple skin grafts were necessarily needlessly carried out before this essential message was included. Number 8. As a parent expecting a first child, you're often in the position where you have to have a house full of baby products long before the arrival of the actual baby. Depends how organized you are though, Dave, doesn't it? It's like me and my wife, we were like, it's like a month and we haven't really done anything. And we need to swap rooms around and stuff. We were quite, I mean, I feel like we're quite, I don't want to describe myself as a good parent, but I feel like I'm a reasonable parent. And we're quite organized. I say we, more my wife manages to organize all of this stuff.
Don't think a woman can be a leader, you poor, simple boy.
But I just felt like it wasn't really necessary to get all of this stuff super far in advance because it's like you just order it on the internet and it arrives and it's good. And then some man came in and assembled it all, and because I can't do this.
Strong, powerful, huge, whopping penis. Wow.
Therefore, after you have enjoyed one of the last hot meals you may ever eat, what better way could there be than spend the last peaceful evenings that you will ever have than to read through the instruction manuals that come with these products? Yes. I just stopped doing this a while ago. Like, whenever we had like a big delivery of stuff, and we have like a handyman who we use. And like, he's like, half the time he's spent assembling like IKEA shit and hanging pictures, which I could probably handle myself, but I just don't, because I'm like, I just don't want to do that anymore. It's like one of those things I just decided I'm not going to, like, I don't clean. I just don't clean. My wife doesn't clean. We have cleaners, and I feel no shame about this. I feel, at first you're a bit like, I can do this. Should I be having someone else do this? And now I'm just like, no, I don't do that. I just don't do that anymore. I do not do it. I refuse to do it. Our cleaner went away for like a month. And I was like, my wife was like, we're going to clean. And I was like, no, just find one of those companies that come in and do like a deep clean. And so we had this company come in for an entire day and they cleaned the shit out of our apartment. It's never been so clean. They took everything out the cupboards. They cleaned the oven. It was amazing. It was like, you go back in and you're like, it's like a new apartment. It's worth doing. It's expensive, but it's worth it.
And the cleaning lady, she cleans up dust. She dusts. Right?
One evening, whilst doing exactly this, I came across the following save. Sorry about all the tangents, I know. And they're not even amusing today. They're just like boring stories from my life. I'm so sorry. Fascinating tangent, Simon. Let's carry on. I came across the following safety warning in the instruction manual for a foldable stroller. Ensure that you remove baby before folding. Oh, don't say that someone's done that. Sometimes I'll do that as a laugh. Like we've got this amazing foldable stroller, or push chair, as we call it in England. Although I sometimes call it stroller because my wife calls it stroller because I think that's just more international somehow. Although I just think it's American. And sometimes we've got this great folding stroller that it like folds in half and then it folds in half again. It's like this big. It's crazy. It's called like a gazebo. It's not a gazebo. It's called something like this. It's great. I'd highly recommend this. And it's not even that expensive. Like strollers are mental, by the way. And this one was like 100 and something quid. Which is a bargain compared to what you can pay. Like the other stroller we have that isn't foldable. It's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, if someone hadn't warned me about the price of these things, I was, when I first found out, I was just like in shock. And I was like, really? It's not far off $1,000 for a stroller. It's unbelievable. I don't understand. But this one, anyway, what was I talking about?
Okay, you're old and you're bald.
Oh yeah, and I'll pretend to fold the kid into it. Like, I'll just be like, but don't mess around like that. Because one time I'll slip and the kid will be like, pfft. Not really, they're too fat. Now, I am aware that the sleep deprivation caused by the arrival of a new child can result in some strange parental behavior. I myself once made a cup of coffee using baby formula powder instead of sugar. Oh. I don't know. I think like baby formula doesn't have taste in it. It doesn't taste bad. But I think because it's so close to like human milk, like that's what it's designed to emulate, which obviously we all ate as babies, but I find it very weird. Like my wife was like, story of like, do you want to taste the breast milk? And I was like, I mean, not directly from her, but from like the bottle. And I was like, no. She's like, go on. No, I don't want to. It's weird. I'm sure some people are into that, aren't they? Probably. But I do not believe that even in my most sleep-deprived moments, I would have folded the baby in the stroller before. But nevertheless, I'll bet that one person has done this, making the inclusion of this warning necessary. What's wrong with people? Come on, get your together. Number 7. Although you might think that the warning, do not attempt to stop the blade of this chainsaw with your hand. No! Would be as superfluous as a safety warning on a gun that said, do not place barrel in your mouth before pulling the trigger. That's where we're going, honestly, with some of these. That's where we're going. Or a warning telling you not to put your tongue into an electrical outlet. It is a warning that is included in the instruction manual of every chainsaw that I researched online for the writing of this script. Who the is like, this is designed to cut down trees? And it's like, well, how do you turn it off? Who has not played Doom and seen what that's done to zombies? It's not a good time. You don't want to put your hands on there. Bloody hell. As a further scathing indictment of the intelligence of certain individuals, I was told by a tree surgeon friend of mine, while joking about this very thing, that it actually happens a lot more often than you'd hope. Apparently, it's not uncommon for people who are new to working with these tools to reflexively attempt to slow the blade after letting go of the trigger in order to accelerate the process. What? Are you insane? Who would do that? He claims he has personally seen it happen no less than on 5 occasions. Mate. I know he's a tree surgeon, so he's going to see a lot. But are you a tree surgeon? Like, this is like your job. You know about this. Why are your mates just like... Personally, I would have thought that how not to maim yourself with your own tools would be the very first lesson in his line of work. Yes. Number 6. Although people certainly do not receive as much snail mail as they used to, there is still enough of it around to justify the sale of an extremely dangerous piece of equipment. What on earth could this be? Oh, also snail mail. I'll get like 2 or 3 letters a week. And it amazes me. And it's like always useless shit from like the bank or like, oh, if I get a speeding ticket or a parking fine or whatever, it still comes through the post. They have like this virtual government system for like delivering this shit. So they're like, nope, we send it via mail.
Maybe I'm old-fashioned, you know?
And not only that, they send you this... Sorry, this is another not interesting tangent from my life, which I'm going to tell you about anyway.
No. Wait.
They'll send you this thing. Like, the postman is supposed to ring the bell and, like, give you the letter. Like, you know, he's seen you get it because it's a legal document. It's like a parking fine. Like, who gives a shit? But, like, they'll hand it to you. But they don't because they're lazy. So they just put it in your letterbox, this little note that says you got to pick it up from the post office. So you got to go to the bloody post office and queue. I discovered it was something amazing. They'll send you this, they'll put this letter in there, this little note. And if you wait, they'll put you a red one. Or, like, it's an orange one. They put you an orange one in there being like, warning, soon... this letter is, you know, you got to come pick this up. If you don't, they'll just deliver it anyway. You got to wait like 2 weeks, but they'll deliver it anyway. I never go to the post office anymore, and any important letter is just 2 weeks late. You've completely screwed yourself. Government, not me. I am, of course, talking about, what are you talking about? Oh, dangerous piece of equipment, letter openers. Who doesn't just get the letter, tap the thing down, and then tear off the bottom and slip out the thing? That's just how you should open letters. Everyone's like, open it through the top really neatly. I'm just like, tear it off, open it out. And if you've torn off the side of it, who gives a shit? It's not important. How often is mail actually important? 1% of the time? Now, you may be thinking that I'm greatly exaggerating the danger of this product, but at least one Amazon seller seems to think that the use of this product requires specialist safety equipment. The product description for the ornate desktop letter opener contains the sentence, "Caution, it is highly recommended that safety goggles are worn during usage." Holy shit. Aside from engaging in some office fencing competitions, I can think of no legitimate reason for taking these extreme precautions. Number 5. Everybody knows somebody who's obsessed with fruit and vegetables. I don't, because I ostracize those people from my life. The kind of person who could completely ruin a meal at a steakhouse by requesting only a salad, or when eating at McDonald's will actually order the fruit bag rather than the double bacon quarter pounder with cheese. Yeah, I know one of those people. So we'll go to McDonald's and they'll be like, oh, I don't know what to have. I don't like McDonald's. And it's like, well, we don't have any options. We're on the motorway. Have a Twister and a fruit pouch. And it doesn't make me feel better about having my double Big Mac with extra cheese, large fries, and a Coke Zero, because I don't need those extra calories in the Coke. However, it would appear that there are people who have gone that one step further and started eating anything that includes even a stylized image of fruit. At least that is the only explanation that I have that can explain the safety warnings taken from Apple's website several years ago. No, you didn't. One of these warnings genuinely says, "Do not eat iPod Shuffle." That's got to be a joke, right? Although I wasn't able to find any examples of anybody actually doing this, it did make me wonder. iPod Shuffle used to be everywhere, and I certainly haven't seen one lately.
They're eating her! and then they're going to eat me.
I never got an iPod Shuffle. I had just a regular iPod like a normal person because I like to choose the music that I listen to. I suppose that it is just possible that they have become a secret ingredient in some pretentious dish cooked up by Heston Blumenthal. Number 4. Heston Blumenthal does make some weird shit. Although the story of the lawsuit between Stella Liebeck and McDonald's, in which Liebeck successfully sued the corporation for damages caused when she spilled one of their coffees in her lap, is well known, it's very rare that people recount the correct version of events when referring to it. Yeah, people are always like, it's ridiculous, she burnt herself on hot coffee. The coffee was so hot, she got like massive burns. It was a proper situation. According to an episode of Adam Ruins Everything, Stella Liebeck was a 79-year-old woman in Albuquerque, New Mexico, whose grandson drove her to McDonald's in 1992. She was in a parked car when the coffee spilled. Liebeck acknowledged that the spill was her fault. What she took issue with was that the coffee was ridiculously hot, up to 190 degrees Fahrenheit, which is near boiling point. Whoa. And it caused third-degree burns on her legs and genitals, nearly killing her and requiring extensive surgery to treat. Yeah, and this is it. Coffee should not be boiling McDonald's. That's mad. McDonald's apparently knew that this was unsafe. In the decade before Liebeck's spill, McDonald's had received 700 reports of people burning themselves. McDonald's admitted that its coffee was a hazard at such high temperatures, but it continued the practice enforced by official McDonald's policy of heating up its coffee to near boiling point. McDonald's claims customers wanted the coffee this hot. No one does, because it would destroy their mouth. They just have to wait for it to go cold. Liebeck didn't want to go to court. She just wanted McDonald's to pay for her medical expenses, estimated at $20,000. McDonald's offered only $800, leading her to file a lawsuit in 1994. It was... Oh, end quote. Was that all a quote? Sorry. Was that Adam Ruins Everything? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal it. It was a quote. My bad. It was, in fact, the jury who decided that in order to send a message to the corporation, they should be forced to pay $2.9 million in compensation. I love that. In the end, Liebeck settled for $800,000, whatever the risk, 1,000 times more than they wanted. It's McDonald's wanted to give. I love that. Whatever the reasons behind her lawsuit, it has certainly led to many other retailers, including warnings on their message or warnings on their drinks that their drinks are hot. But one company has taken it a little bit further. One well-known coffee retailer in the United States includes the phrase, avoid pouring on the crotch area. Okay. It's like, don't spill this on your dick. Alright? It is unknown whether or not this message is completely serious. It is possible that they are just taking the piss out of the original case. I would say they probably are. It's quite amusing as well, to be honest. Number 3. I'd like to begin this entry with a story that may be familiar to many of you, as countless versions can be found scattered throughout the internet and in the junk mail folders of email accounts anywhere. I'm going to say that I'm almost certainly familiar with this. I might not be familiar with a lot of stuff, but like internet shit, I feel like I know. I've been on the internet a long time. Spent a lot of time on the internet. When my phone is always like, hey, just let you know, last week you spent like 4% less time on your phone. You're like, yes, for a total of 7 hours a day. No, how? This particular version of the story comes directly from the spam folder of my own email account and reads as follows. Mrs. Merv Gazinski of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma purchased a new 32-foot Winnebago motorhome. On her first trip home from an OU football game. What is going on? That's got to be like, this is some university, right? OU, like BU. Oklahoma University, maybe, because we're talking about Oklahoma. Whatever, let's carry on. Having driven on the freeway, she set the cruise control at 70 miles per hour and calmly left the driver's seat to go to the back of the Winnebago to make herself a sandwich. You know, cruise control, when was this happening? I don't know, if this was recently, you could have that, like, I don't know, I got one of those Volvos and it's got this pilot assist. You could just kind of sit there. It'll have a go at you if you don't hold the wheel, though. Not surprisingly, the motorhome left the freeway, crashed and overturned. Also not surprisingly, Mrs. Grzinski sued Winnebago for not... Oh, Winnebago's a brand? I didn't even know that. For not putting in the owner's manual that she couldn't actually leave the driver's seat while the cruise control was set. The Oklahoma jury awarded her, are you sitting down, $1.75 million plus a new motorhome. Winnebago, they can't actually award you a new motorhome, which makes you just feel like this is bullshit, and I haven't heard of this before. Winnebago actually changed their manuals as a result of this suit, just in case Mrs. Grzinski has any relatives who might also buy a motorhome. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your perspective, there is just one problem with the story, and that it's complete and utter bullshit. To quote a deleted extract from the Bible, all people contained within this story are fictitious, and any resemblance to any persons living or dead is purely coincidental. Fortunately, for the purpose of this list, the fact that this has never actually happened has not prevented vehicle manufacturers from taking preemptive action. What does that have to do with your spam folder? Why'd you get an email about this? I was going to be like, and Mrs. Grzinski is looking for your help to claim this sum. It's in a bank account in Nigeria. I don't know. I've never got this email. Why would I get this email?
You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you.
The following warning comes directly from the cruise control section of the Ford Operator's Manual. You are responsible for controlling your vehicle at all times. The system is designed to be an aid and does not relieve you of your responsibility to drive with due care and attention. Failure to follow this instruction could result in the loss of control of your vehicle, personal injury, or death. It would be interesting to discover whether this warning was included before or after the previous urban legend began the rounds. Number 2. You may think that it is perfectly understandable that fireworks should come with safety messages. I feel like I know this one. I can't remember what it is, but I definitely feel like this might have been on that list about the indoor and outdoor use only. Useful information may include such things as spectators should stand at least 15 meters away or keep out of the reach of children. Oh my god, like when I was a kid, like one of those I can't remember what they're called. I feel like the Americans call them like public safety announcements or something like that, like public safety films. Where they're like, don't do this, don't smoke in bed. One of them, like, targeted at children was, don't play with fireworks. And it would be like kids playing with fireworks, and then they'd have like one finger left or something like that, and it'd be like, don't play with fireworks. And I was like, I'm still scared of fireworks. I like never set off a firework in my life because I'm like, it's a bit too close to playing for my liking.
Good.
Hey, because they meant like dismantling them and then making new fireworks and making bombs and stuff because kids. Young little bomb makers. But at least one fireworks manufacturer has taken the stupidity protection considerably further than you would hope would ever be necessary. During the early 2000s, in order to celebrate New Year's Eve, my dad purchased something called a firework display in a box. The idea behind this potential do-it-yourself terrorist device was that after you lit the single fuse, all those in attendance would be treated to a carefully designed fireworks display without the additional hassle or danger involved in repeatedly lighting many different fireworks. An excellent idea given the average alcohol content of most New Year's Eve parties. Yeah! Well, we saw fireworks night. Do you Americans, you have it on the 4th of July, right? That's the big fireworks day. We do New Year's and, Guy Fawkes night, where we burn a terrorist on a bonfire. As far as I can recall, apart from a small square which contained the lighting instructions, this box was almost all safety warnings, but by far my favourite was the one that said for outdoor use only. It's like, can you imagine someone saying that up in their kitchen? It's the sort of thing you'd see in a YouTube video. Some dude buys this, then he goes around his mate's house and just sets it off in the kitchen. Like a legend. Don't do that. I'm not sure what the situation is in the rest of the world, but in the UK at least, anybody over the age of 18 can purchase fireworks off the shelf with no questions asked. Wait, there's restrictions on that elsewhere? Really? If manufacturers believe that it is necessary to include this particular warning, then perhaps this is something that needs to change. Nah, I'm okay with people. It's like it's your own risk, isn't it? Don't be an idiot. And if you're an idiot, you're probably only going to hurt yourself and burn your house down. Right? Number 1, with the festive season fast approaching, oh my god, all of the adverts lately. Like, I record all these sponsor spots, right? You know, guys know that. That's how I pay for shit. And they're always like, with the festive season fast approaching, and I'm like, what are we talking about? I'm recording this in like early November, but because they're all like recorded ahead, and it's like, oh my god, okay. My mother-in-law was like, what do you want for Christmas? And I'm like, it's October! What's up? What are we doing? I'd like wine. I thought I would leave you with this particularly baffling warning that was attached to a set of decorative lights that I purchased last year. The warning really does raise the question of what manufacturers think that people are going to do with these lights. It simply reads, warning, for indoor and outdoor use only. Oh my god, Dave, did you choose the one? You also loved this one as a kid? Yes! I like that. I do hope you have enjoyed this episode of Brain Blaze, and remember, no matter how appetizing the logo on your Apple products may appear, they are not for human consumption. That was a rather short last entry. I was expecting more. I like that you like that one as well, Dave. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time. It just makes me closer to you. Don't you feel so much closer? Like we're involved in some sort of ASMR get-together. It's weird. I don't know why I do it.